Hi, this is Eve Eliot, corresponding from the dark side of what the world calls matrimony once again. As you may recall, last week Heather made her vows to Howard. And this piece is called Love's Not Funny, It's a Chemical. And before I allowed you to hear Heather's vows to Howard last week, I felt it was important to tell you a few things about myself. This week I feel like it's very important to tell you a few things about Howard since you know nothing about him. So here's a few things you need to know about Howard. Howard plays the French horn, and he owns an extraordinarily successful high-end restaurant in Manhattan called February, where desserts like parsley ice cream are on the menu, and the waitstaff have PhDs in things like early medieval music. After an amicable divorce from a fashion editor, Howard and Heather met squeezing melons at Citarella in East Hampton. He's a wonderful cook, and like many slender people who love food, he's a little bit anorexic and food restricting. Heather calls it manorexic. He loves to cook for other people so he can vicariously enjoy eating. And this reminds Heather of her own grandmother who raised her and who loved to force food on her family. If Heather ate everything her grandmother or Howard on that point offered, she really would be the size of his SUV. He gets a little annoyed at her when she refuses his creamy risottos, feeling like she's rejecting his love. Did I mention he plays the French horn? That's what got her completely hooked. It was that French horn. Anyway, here are Howard's vows, so I'm going to read them. Thank you, Heather, my unusually quirky darling, for including in your vows to me such untraditional specifics, so now I can include such things too. I take thee, Heather, into my life as my most valued companion. You are already the sweetest and most treasured friend I could ever hope to have. You live in my heart, so as you've observed, we don't have to live together, and I think that's a good idea too. I think you prefer having the privacy also. You know how cranky I get when our cats get into a tussle, or when your girlfriends stay what I think of as too long for tea. It's silly, I know, but that's how it is when you live with someone. You have reactions to what they're doing, and even if you don't say anything, the other person feels nudged and judged. Also, I know it upsets you when I throw my clothes on the floor or on a chair, when every rope on my boat is perfectly coiled, and all the objects on the deck and the cabins are symmetrically placed. It's just how things need to be on boats, shipshape. As of today, I promise not to tease you any more about how the floor of your car looks like the floor of a bird cage because you eat popcorn and rice cakes and sweet potato chips while you're driving a manual shift. But you're an excellent driver, so be it. I promise, as of today, not to tease you any more about that Italian waiter, the one who leaned down so close to your face while he filleted your fish that night. What made you order a whole fish that night? You've never done that. Anyway, I'm still jealous of the way he looked at you. I'm jealous of any man that looks at you for more than 10 seconds. So, more relevantly, and down to basics, no. There will be no caressing of you by anyone but me. Nobody else gets to fillet your fish either. But as per your therapist's suggestion that we read up on the power of hormones, I now know that love is a form of chemically induced lunacy. Now, I think I love you means I'm being influenced by internal chemicals. It's a physical reaction. My secretions make me protective and possessive, and I want to own you so I can protect you. And I can't protect you if someone else is caressing you or filleting your fish. So no sharing. We're like drug addicts being pushed around by hormones, victims of our own secretions. We're being pushed around by a riptide of hormones. So, the addition of another person into our alliance would only create way more trouble. Heather, my darling, we can find a way to stay juicy, just the two of us. Our bond is already complicated and intense. We have 5 years now to decide if we want to work out a way to remain each other's most significant companions. So keep wearing cute nighties, though I love when on those cold winter nights you wear your Fredericks of Winnipeg outfits. Heather, half of me wants to love this plan of making a 5-year promise to you. Half of me is scared to commit to 5 years of anything. Half of me wants to be tamed. It seems so calming. Half of me, though, wants to stay the Manhattan cowboy, riding the range in my restaurant, without thinking, oh, it's getting late now and Heather will want to be holding me so she can have secretions. Half of me wants you to own me so I don't have to own myself. Half of me hates the idea of being owned. I'm divided. I've gone to pieces. And I want to own you. Lunacy, again, can't be helped. Secretions. Heather, my darling, I can taste your devotion, like a creamy sauce blanketing me, as rich as beurre blanc. My life tastes more delicious for the flavors you bring to mine. But darling, why are we doing this, taking these vows? Is it necessary? Can we leave all that is between us in silence, unsaid? Can we just go on the way we have been? When I last asked you this, you said we need to take vows to move forward. But things are already moving forward. We don't need to move them. Now I realize that maybe people taking vows throughout time is because of the magnetics of the hormones. Imagine the chaos otherwise. I can't even think about that right now. Many people say they would do anything for the one they love. It's what romantic love songs say. I won't do that. I won't say that. I won't abandon myself. That would be a much faster way to die young than to have a diminished testosterone level. And I'm too anxious to make big promises, sweetheart. When I see the word wed, I think the word dread. Wedded bliss, dreaded bliss. I'm sorry to be saying all this, and I'm not sorry to be saying all this. Because above everything, I want you to know me. I want you to see me, and I want to be seen, especially by you. If we are going to share 5 more delicious years together, here are my deal breakers. No more store-bought mayonnaise, ever. No more begging me to take up yoga. And no babies. Too much responsibility. I already have 32 babies working for me at the restaurant. And because I want you to know that I know you and I see you, I have already arranged a therapy appointment for us. My sweetest companion. I thought that, aside from the dark chocolate cake with coconut frosting that I made for you, a therapy appointment for us would be the best possible wedding gift I could offer you, because I know you and I see you. I'm not leaving you at the altar. I'm inviting you to consider walking away from the altar with me, arm in arm. I do adore you. And as I hear myself saying that, I don't know what that means anymore, since I read about the hormones. A river of secretions is flooding me. I may drown in it any minute.